A long time ago, when the universe was a much smaller and newer place, there lived a girl called Melina. And since before Melina could even remember, her best friend in the whole world had been a boy called Varan. As they grew up, the two remained the closest of friends, and gradually their friendship turned into love. The day that Varan asked Melina to marry him was the happiest of her life. But if that day was her happiest, then the next was certainly one of the strangest. Melina's mind was already on the wedding. Her thoughts were taken up with who to invite, what sort of dress she should wear, and a dozen other tiny details. Every wedding-related thought caused her a flutter of excitement. Melina's happiness was written across her face when she answered a knock at the door of the small abode she shared with several friends. Melina could not help smiling at the stranger who stood there, looking back at her. He was a very ordinary-looking man, dressed in a dark suit and carrying a briefcase. "I hear that congratulations are in order," the man said. Then, before Melina was quite sure how, he was inside and sitting on a threadbare chair with his briefcase balanced on his knees. "Well, how did you know?" Melina asked, because she and Varan had not yet told anyone about their engagement. The man smiled thinly. "You seem very happy," he said, and Melina had to agree. Well, the man looked coldly around the tiny, untidy room before he went on. "But how can you hope to remain happy together," he asked, "when you're both so poor? I've seen where Varan lives, and his place is just as small and run down as this. Well, how are you paying for this accommodation? What about your debts that remain to be paid? Do you even have anything to eat?" Melina felt her happiness begin to ebb away. And even if what the man said was unkind, there was no mistaking the truth of his words. "But Varan and I have each other," Marina told him. "That's more than enough to keep us happy. Our love is worth more than riches." The man nodded, as if he had expected just such an answer. "I see," he said quietly. "Even so, wouldn't you rather be free of such troubles? Wouldn't you like to live in a delightful cottage of your own, with no cause to worry about how to pay your way or where the next meal might come from?" "Of course, but I don't see how that could be possible," Melina said. The man smiled and opened his briefcase. "Then it is lucky I'm here." He took out some papers and flicked through them, as if to remind himself of the contents before saying, "I have a proposition for you." Melina frowned. She was wary. She knew people who had borrowed money and had been forced to pay back far more than they had been given. When she heard the amount of money the man mentioned, though, her eyes widened. Her mind immediately turned to all of the things she and Varan could do with it. A delightful cottage would barely dent such a sum. "You're right to be wary," the man said. "But I promise you this is a good deal." "Well, how much would we have to pay back?" Melina asked. "And how soon?" "Nothing," the man said. "Nothing?" Melina was uncertain. It seemed too good to be true. "Not a penny." The man handed her the papers. "Think of it as a gift." Well, Melina stared at the papers, but she was unable to focus on even a single word. "But surely you must want something for it," she said. She was having trouble believing that someone would just give away such a vast amount of money, and wanted to make sure she wasn't being tricked. "All I ask in return," said the man, "is your tears."